Say goodbye to seed phrases. On June 5th, Coinbase launched their revolutionary smart wallet. Imagine a simple on-chain experience that even your mom could use. Just like Apple revolutionized the phones in our pockets, Coinbase is revolutionizing how we manage, invest, and send our money. Now, thanks to Onchain Summer, which started this week, the term on-chain will be on everyone's lips. Coinbase isn't just promoting themselves, they're educating the world about crypto, which leads us to the question of the day. Is Coinbase the best investment in crypto right now? We think it might be, and today we're going to build the case for why. GM, good morning. Welcome to Milk Road Radio, the easiest path to get smarter about crypto. I'm Jay Hamilton, joined by Kyle Reedhead, and we believe that on-chain is the next online, and we're here to help you capitalize. Kai, on June 5th, Coinbase announced and launched their smart wallet. Could you break this down for us and elaborate on what from this smart wallet got you excited?
Yeah, so let's start with the problem. The problem in crypto really is the UX, right? I mean, there's two problems. One is we don't have enough use cases that people actually want to use. If we think about when the internet first started, the UX of the internet was even worse than crypto, yet people still used it once we had the use cases for it. So I actually think that's the biggest problem. People always mistake and say it's UX. I don't think it's that. But UX is obviously a really big problem for people using it right now. And we have wallets, MetaMask, Coinbase wallets, a bunch of others, and they're okay, right? You have to, you download them as your browser extension, or some of them are an app. You have these like seed phrases that just don't make sense to most people, not even crypto native people. I think they're just ridiculous. And you got to sign these transactions. You need to like make sure there's money on the wallet first. You have to have, if you want to trade USDC, you need ETH in your wallet. Like it's weird, right? It doesn't make sense. And Coinbase has noticed that. One of the really cool things that Coinbase has done over the last few years is they built this wonderful company, this exchange, and they were like, how can we get this exchange to grow? Well, we need more people on chain, right? And so the way that they decided to do that was, well, let's go build on chain. And so they launched Base. And they launched Base, one, because they wanted to have a chain that they could build apps on, but more the reason they did it was they wanted to figure out all the biggest problems for users, for developers, et cetera. And the thing they realized the most when they launched Base was the wallet UX absolutely sucks. To try to onboard someone new into crypto is so damn difficult and confusing and just weird, even for crypto native people. And so they set off to build something new. Now they already have Coinbase Wallet, which is similar to MetaMask, a little bit better UX, but like not a 10x improvement, which is what you really need here. And so what they launched today as we're recording, which was called, what's the name of it again? I guess just Smart Wallet, Coinbase Smart Wallet. Yeah, it's different than Coinbase Wallet. It's not the same thing. This Coinbase Smart Wallet is, I mean, it's a bunch of things. It's essentially an embedded wallet that can go inside of any app. So we've talked a lot about Privy on the podcast kind of a while ago. If you think of like fintech, if you've ever used that, they have an embedded wallet where similar to the Web2 like UX, where when you go to create an account inside of fintech, when you create that account with your email or whatever, a wallet is just automatically created for you. This is what a smart wallet is. It's the same idea. The difference with what Coinbase has just done is it creates this account for you, but it does it with like using features in your actual Apple device or Google device, where it's like, I created a smart wallet this morning and it made it based off my eye scan, which is how Apple tends to create a lot of accounts. So same thing, it made it that way. It embedded it right in the app, and I could immediately mint. I was minting the Coinbase NFT to celebrate this smart wallet. And so it took me 2 seconds to make this wallet. There's no seed phrases. It does it based off my eye scan. And it's gasless. So you don't actually need to load it with any crypto. So it's gasless in the sense that apps can decide if they want to cover gas or not. It's on Base. And if you use Base, you can send assets for free, which is really cool. And then what's really amazing about this that Privy and some of the others don't have is I can now take that embeddable wallet and I can use it in other apps that also host the same Coinbase Smart Wallet. And so I have this wallet that I create through my iScan or an email or whatever I want inside of the app that I'm using. I don't need to leave the app to go like download MetaMask or whatever. It's just in that moment. It takes 2 seconds. And then I can take that with me to other apps when other people ask me to mint things or do things on chain. And then what's also really cool is I can then connect it back to my Coinbase wallet or to my Coinbase exchange, the account that I have on my centralized exchange. And so what they've done is created this like, I don't even know how to explain it yet. I feel like it's still so new. So I got to figure out the best like examples to give. But basically it's like creating an account in like a Web2 fashion, but then it can move with you to any application and then connect to all the existing wallets and the existing centralized exchanges accounts that you have. So you can fund it, you can make payments from others. You don't have to sign transactions. It's an amazing experience. I recommend anyone who is listening to this right now to go try it because it's unlike anything you've used in crypto so far. And what's amazing is it's Coinbase who launched this. So they're about to push this to their 10 million active users they have on Coinbase Exchange and their millions of users they already have on Coinbase Wallet. So I think this is a really, really big deal, and it couldn't come from a better company because they're the ones that are going to market the most and get it out there. So I think this is I don't want to call it a broadband moment for crypto, but obviously, moving from Ethereum to layer twos and plus Solana was a broadband moment for crypto because now we could have very, very cheap transactions. But now with the smart wallet, we can have onboarding to those cheap transactions very, very easy. Plus, we can have no gas needed, no signing needed because it's so cheap that companies can just cover that gas for you. So it really completely flips the UX of crypto on its head. And I think we'll see this really take off in the coming months to years.
So clearly, you're very bullish on the new smart wallet, which they just announced today. Now, a week ago, you put out a tweet saying that you believed that Coinbase's shares, which is not a token, just to be very clear, it's an equity that you would buy through a typical stock exchange, you said was one of the best investments in crypto. Why?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many reasons why. I think the first is this. When I look at Coinbase, I see it as sort of two things. It's big tech, think like your Apple, your Google, whatever. And then it's also your big bank all in one. And it's kind of converging to be both. And I think Coinbase can actually become one of the biggest companies in the world in the next few years if crypto does what I think it's going to do. I say that it's big bank, pretty obvious because right now it's an exchange, but it's also becoming a place where you do all the things you need with your money. You can put your fiat in there, you can do things with fiat, and then you can also put your crypto in there and do things with crypto, right? And whether that's done in the Coinbase app or moved over to Base and done on chain doesn't really matter. Regardless, Coinbase is the one that controls that UX and generates the revenue from it. And so you could look at Coinbase and value it versus other banks, whether that's, some of the biggest banks in the world, you could value versus those. Those are worth like hundreds of billions of dollars in terms of market cap. Coinbase, I think I'm not sure exactly what it is right now, but below 100 billion. So in terms of just valuing it against banks, it's got a lot of room to grow there. But then I also see it as big tech because it's what is enabling this whole new crypto world, the on-chain world, right? Whether that be through Base again, or through its wallet, or through its various other products that it has. It has Coinbase Commerce, it has wallets, it has smart wallets, it has its own chain. It literally controls so much of the UX of crypto. And it reminds me a lot of Apple with the internet. If you think about when the internet started to take off, it really became a possibility because of one, computers and because of mobile devices, right? As those became more usable and a better experience, people could access the internet better. But then when it really took off is when your experience to download music or to browse the web was all under the same brand. And so if you think about what happened in like the early 2000s, you had an Apple computer, right? And you used Safari to get onto the internet. And then you used iTunes to download music. And then you put that music onto your iPhone when that became a thing. Before that, it was the iPod. And so it was all the same brand. So the UX was controlled by one company. And it made it just so easy for consumers to like figure out how to navigate the internet. That is one of the biggest problems I think we have in crypto right now is it's a different brand for everything you want to do, a different website for everything you want to do. Coinbase seems to be kind of honing in and like becoming the UX that controls it all, right? You can take your fiat, put it in Coinbase, turn it into crypto, and then you can use their wallets, you can use their chain, and like you can basically use the Coinbase or Base UX the whole way through. It's still early days for that, but I think that's the route they're going. And so I see Coinbase as being big tech plus big bank. So that's one reason. The second reason I'm so bullish on Coinbase is, to me, they're like the most diversified play in crypto. So there's a big debate right now. Is Ethereum going to be the main smart contract platform that wins? Is it Solana? Is it going to be Bitcoin if they start to build L2s? And so you could either invest in all three of those, or do you know who wins regardless of whichever one of those wins? Coinbase. Whatever we end up doing on chain, Coinbase is the UX to bring and onboard people there. And they're going to be the way to get your fiat onto crypto, especially if you're in the US and they're also moving to other jurisdictions. So to me, it's like, if you don't know who's going to win, Solana, ETH, Cosmos, Bitcoin, you just buy coin and it's going to win regardless. And so I think the big tech, the big bank, and then just diversified play, to me, makes the most sense. And then also, I guess, for a lot of institutions, a lot of boomers who want to invest in crypto, and they don't know how to do it on chain just yet, well, they can start with either the ETFs or they can start with coin. And I think a lot of institutions are going to love that coin has real revenues. It's an actual company they understand. And so I think a lot of people, a lot of big institutions anyway, are going to go, well, I get that crypto's the next big thing, but I still don't really understand what Uniswap is or what Cow protocol is or whatever. And I don't understand staking. I don't understand this, but I understand a business. And Coinbase seems to be the leading business in this space, and it's in the US and it's already public. And so it's just got so many things so many narratives that it can run with, and so many fundamental reasons why it can do really well as well. And so, I mean, I've been calling coin since I bought it at $38, which was near the very bottom, one of my luckiest bets I think I've ever had, and one of the best investments I've ever had. But we put it out in our newsletter in the pro report when it was below $60, again when it was below $80. It's currently at $240 or something like that. 248, yeah. And I think it still has, I mean, it's not even near all-time highs yet, and I think it's still got a ton of way to go. So I think for a long-term bet in crypto, it's one of the easiest ones you could do. And you could do it in your like tax-free savings account. So like, who doesn't want that?
Yeah, following up by you said earlier, below 100 billion market cap, 61 billion market cap.
Wow.
For Coinbase.
Okay.
So still so small.
Super bullish.
Now, you made a comparison between Apple and Coinbase. Another thing that Apple and Coinbase have in common, not only are they great at building ecosystems, they also have the best marketing teams in the world, and they're supported by multi-million-dollar budgets. Let's just talk a little bit about what's the impact of Coinbase's multi-million-dollar marketing campaigns on the crypto space and the broader community at large.
Yeah, good question. One of the things I think that's actually key for the listeners to understand is if you don't really know the history of Coinbase, they have been in this space building since I think 2012, maybe 2011, when it was just Bitcoin. There was nothing else. So they have been through the whole thing. So if there's one company in the world that knows crypto more than any other company, it is Coinbase. And that team has gone through 3 cycles, right? 3 massive, crazy cycles of crypto. They have built and shipped products through all this. At one point, we thought everything would be built on Bitcoin. Then we had like colored coins, which were these random forks of Bitcoin, and they kind of navigated that. Then Ethereum came and they navigated ICOs and what was going to happen with smart contract platforms. Then we had all these other layer ones that came out, and it's just consistently navigated this and just shipped products that have just stayed ahead of the curve of crypto. And so one, I think Apple has done the same. So I think that's one big comparison there. And then I think, as you said, especially now that they've IPO'd, they've got a shit ton of capital. They have so much money. Plus they make like, I don't know, I think they made $1.8 billion last quarter. So like these guys have tons and tons of money, and they have done an incredible job at marketing, using that money to like help people understand what the heck on-chain means. I mean, we say it before every episode, on-chain is next online. That line was created by Jesse Pollock, who is one of the big people in Coinbase that launched Base. So these guys have just like, all they do is think about how can we onboard more people on chain, which was exactly what Apple did. How can we get more people online and using the internet? And so there's just so much comparisons there. And so one of the things to understand is they want to bring people on chain because the more people that hold assets, the more people will trade, and then they make more money through their exchange, right? Plus, I mean, they make revenues from a bunch of different ways. So by launching Base, yes, they've made a ton of money from Base, the L2. That wasn't their original plan. It was actually just to figure out how to get more people on chain. And so now they have all this marketing dollars that go to Onchain Summer, which they're starting right now. If you've seen the videos that they put out, commercials, I think in the NBA playoffs, they've obviously had commercials in the Super Bowl. These are all ways of helping more people understand why on-chain is more important. They do a lot of talk around stablecoins as well and help people understand and wrap their heads around that use case. So there really isn't any company in crypto that has this kind of marketing budget. I mean, Binance is bigger than Coinbase, but like they don't really do much to like try to proliferate crypto through the mainstream. Coinbase is like the company doing this right now. Circle is just starting as well. And I think that just can't be understated. I think it's massive for the whole industry, but obviously Coinbase is going to find ways to capitalize on that.
Yeah. And you mentioned, well, first of all, I just have to say that all I've seen from Binance is another NFT project with Cristiano Ronaldo, which,
exactly.
Come on, we don't need that. That's for sure. That's not helping at all. But you mentioned Jesse, and Jesse and the team have been cooking over at Coinbase and Base. just launched Onchain Summer, the second round of Onchain Summer. This year, Onchain Summer is 3 months long. Just think about that for a second. That's 3 months of daily on-chain activity. That's 3 months of them being on billboards, doing events. This is IRL, this is digital, this is a cross-platform. You're going to see the words Onchain Summer everywhere. I mean, particularly if you're in the US, but everywhere for the next 3 months. And that starts to make a difference and gets more
And
people into the mindset.
for those that don't know, Onchain Summer is a marketing campaign that Coinbase does. They did this when they launched Base last summer. And basically it was like every day they highlight a different project, a different protocol, or a different creator. And they just do a good job of like kind of proliferating on-chain use cases. And they're doing it again this summer. They've said that they're going to do this every summer. And so as Jay said, it's 3 months of just like a blitz of teaching people about on-chain and experimenting and innovating and bringing more developers in. And it's like, it's a massive boost to the ecosystem. I think you'll see Base do really well over the summer because they use incentives to bring people in. They use marketing. They use so many different tactics, and so I think we'll see it in Base's results.
Well, and the evidence came last year. Let's remember, Onchain Summer was really only, maybe it was like 6 weeks last summer. I can't remember exactly how long it was, but two big apps that exploded as a result of Onchain Summer. First was Parallel, the game absolutely
Right.
exploded during Onchain Summer. And then the second was Friendtech, which did so well. Now, right now is Build Month is part of Onchain Summer. So if you're a builder, you can go and sign up for Build Month. And they have, Base has $2 million in prizes and grants. And OP has committed 600,000 in OP tokens, which is worth about $1.5 million in OP grants. Because why? Base is on the super chain and they want to support anybody that's building on the super chain.
I think the thing to keep your eye on the most, if you're trying to understand like what is the thing that Coinbase is going to do that's going to onboard so many people on chain, it's going to be through payments. And we talked about the wallet experience already, how you can use Coinbase to get your fiat into crypto, then move it on chain into the Coinbase wallet or now the smart wallet. One of the things they actually launched, I think it was this week as well, was the ability to send transactions via text. So basically in your Coinbase wallet today, you can send over 100 different tokens, and you can do it by, it creates a link, auto creates the link for you, and you can just text it to someone, and someone just clicks on that link. They can either sign into their wallet or they can create a Coinbase wallet, and boom, they can accept that money. And this UX is where people complain about crypto UX. If you think about any other way to do this, think of if you want to send someone money around the world. If you're in the US, for example, and you have a Venmo account, okay, you can do this as long as they have a Venmo account. But if I'm in Canada right now, well, actually I'm in Nicaragua right now, but I'm Canadian, so I don't have a Venmo account. I can't tell you how many times Americans go, I want to send you money. Do you have Venmo? And I'm like, no, I'm not American. And so they can't send me it. They have to then, like, I have to go and create a PayPal account, and then they have to move their money from Venmo over to PayPal, and then they can send it to me PayPal. They pay 3%. Like, and then for me to get that money from PayPal out into like my bank account cost me 3% as well, if not more. So it's an absolute pain in the ass. And that's an easy scenario. Canada, US is not that bad. Now think about if someone in Russia or whatever else, right, that doesn't have access to PayPal. So if you think about this, now you have a self-custodial wallet. Anyone can download this in 1 second to any device you want, does not matter. There's no KYC needed. There's no permissions. There's no anything. You just can download it. And now I can just send it to you through WhatsApp or text you it, and you can get your USDC right away. And it's free. There's no cost to do this. This, I think, is going to be one of the most like exciting things in the space because it is so much better than TradFi Rails. It's so much better than what we do in Web 2. Not to mention, that is just transfers from one person to another. Merchants, I think this is massive. Coinbase already has like Coinbase Commerce, where you can like pay employees and buy things using this. And again, no fees if you're using Base, if you're using USDC. And I think they're going to double down on this even further. And so transfers from person to person and then payments for products and things digitally, I think they're going to go after that using USDC because they also own a stake in Circle, the provider of USDC. And I think you're going to see them really proliferate the idea of using stablecoins as payments and transfers. And I think this is just going to make it so easy for US dollars to just circulate around the world. And it's going to be free for everyone and accessible to everyone. And I don't know how, like, I don't know that people have wrapped their heads around how big this is. This has been the promise of crypto for a long time, but it's been very hard to actually like execute and make this UX good. But with the combination of USDC, Base, Coinbase Wallet, and Coinbase Exchange, they have the full UX. It is free for everyone to use this and accessible for everyone to use this. And I think it's just like, it's unheard of. So I think they're going to just nail that over the next little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you mentioned KYC. And I think for a lot of us, people might say, oh, well, no big deal if you have to KYC. Maybe you don't want to KYC, but at least you can. But let's not forget, there's 3 billion people in the world who can't KYC. They do not have a government identification that will allow them to KYC.
And those are the people that need dollars the most, right?
Exactly.
Because they have inflating currencies or don't have bank accounts.
Exactly. And those are the ones that are going to be using this now. The other thing that you mentioned is it is not only is this, I think a lot of people look at this and say, okay, great, I'm going to send money from my Coinbase wallet to somebody else that also has a Coinbase wallet. But here's the great thing. You're sending this over text. So I could send this to my mom, who has never used crypto before in her life. She would get a text with a link that would explain to her and take her through the simple steps to receive the money into a wallet that she can go set up.
And now that's with smart wallets where they don't even need to know about seed phrases, and it just scans their eyes like they do with their phone. So, and then I just want to go back to the very beginning where we talked about the opportunity of Coinbase in terms of valuation. I said you can compare it to Apple, which is what, a $2-3 trillion company. You could compare it to the big US banks, because Coinbase is obviously in the US, which are like hundreds of billions of dollars in valuation. But what we just explained is bringing the unbanked and giving them basically a bank account, but in crypto form. And that is a total addressable market of 8 billion people, right? The US banks, their total addressable market is 360 million people, or however many people are in the US. That's it. They don't get to go to the rest of the world. What Coinbase is building is a bank for the entire world. That is a 10x improvement versus every other bank that exists in the world. And so you think about how big this company could get, and it is just so exponential from here. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on this. Now, I want to be clear. This does not happen in the next year, okay, or the next 2 years. It happens over the next decade. And so Coinbase is one that I think does really well in the short term here with the crypto cycle we're in, as we talked about, was that yesterday? But as a long-term bet, I think Coinbase is one of the most exciting equities that you could possibly invest in right now.
Kai, thanks so much for joining us today and breaking down the bull case for Coin. Everybody stick around for in case you missed it on today's news. Before we jump into today's news, I want to tell you guys about a great opportunity for anybody that is looking to market and reach crypto natives. Milk Road is currently looking for sponsors for Q3 for our newsletter, which goes out to 300,000 of the finest folks in crypto every day. Click the link in the show notes. There's a form you can fill out, and somebody from our team will get in touch to tell you all about the opportunities to sponsor Milk Road. Now, in case you missed it, the IRS is letting FTX off the hook with a 99% tax reduction. Initially, the IRS claimed $44 billion tax claim for FTX, which was later revised down to $24 billion. Now, under this new proposed settlement, FTX would pay the IRS just $200 million upfront and then an additional $685 million as a junior subordinated claim contingent upon court approval. Also, Rekt Brands has launched a share claim program for Rekt NFT holders, becoming the first project to offer equity to NFT holders through a regulated US distribution process. By granting equity on chain, Rekt Brands is setting a new standard for NFT projects, demonstrating how they can provide tangible value to their communities. Finally, Dapper Labs, the company behind NBA Top Shots NFTs, has reached a $4 million settlement in a class action lawsuit alleging their NFTs were unregistered securities. The settlement suggests that NBA Top Shot NFTs are not considered securities. Dapper Labs has maintained that the NFTs exist on a decentralized network, the Flow blockchain, similar to trading cards, and are not under their direct control. A big win for Dapper Labs. Thanks so much for listening in, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to Milk Road Radio, the easiest path to get smarter about crypto. If you like this episode, share it and hit subscribe or follow so you don't miss out on the next one. There's also a link in the description to our free 5-minute daily newsletter where we simplify crypto for you while making you laugh. And if you're willing to step up your crypto investing game, then we'll leave a link to Milk Road Pro as well, your #1 resource to help you invest successfully in crypto. One final note, this podcast is for educational purposes only. Nothing we say is financial advice. Crypto is risky, so you should never invest more than you're willing to lose. Thank you, friends, and we'll see you in the next one.